Disrespect doesn't always arrive as an insult. Sometimes it comes quietly, in tone, in avoidance, in how late they reply, in how casually they treat your presence. People rarely disrespect you by accident. They test you to see if they can get away with it. They want to know your threshold, your weakness, your breaking point. And the harsh truth is this: you taught them how to treat you, not by what you said, but by what you allowed, by how quickly you forgave, by how deeply you explained, by how loudly you reacted, by how silently you swallowed. Disrespect is never about the moment. It's about what follows the moment. When someone crosses a line and nothing changes, you just told them there was no line to begin with. Most people don't understand this. Punishment isn't in words. Punishment is in changed patterns. Because words are cheap. Behavior is expensive. The moment you react emotionally, you lose leverage. The moment you try to explain your value, you confirm you don't believe it. The moment you chase their apology, you give them dominance. Punishment begins the second you stop rewarding disrespect with access. You don't yell, you don't argue, you don't explain. You simply shift, silently, coldly, decisively. And that shift hurts more than any words ever could. The strongest punishment is the one the world can't predict. A consequence delivered without announcement, without noise, without emotion. People fear silence because silence forces them to face themselves. When you stop responding instantly, they feel ignored. When you stop explaining your feelings, they feel uncertain. When you stop giving energy, they feel the emptiness you once filled. This is the architecture of silent consequence. Withdraw access. Withdraw availability. Withdraw emotional explanation. Withdraw predictable behavior. Withdraw validation. Notice what's missing. Punishment is never about hurting them. It's about removing the comfort they got from you. Because the real disrespect wasn't the insult. It was their belief that you would always stay, that your patience was infinite, that your presence was guaranteed. People only value what can be lost. The silent punishment works because it activates the deepest fear, losing access to someone who was once stable. You don't block them, you don't announce distance. You simply become a version of yourself they can no longer reach so easily. Silence makes them revisit every moment where they took you lightly. And in that revisiting, respect is reborn. Disrespect thrives where desperation lives. The more you need someone, the more blind you become to how they treat you. But once you detach, their entire psychological advantage collapses. Detachment is not withdrawal. Detachment is awareness. It is the understanding that you can walk away with your mind intact. Silent punishment isn't disappearing, it's transforming. You become less emotional and more observant, less available and more selective, less reactive and more strategic. The irony, people notice even the slightest shift in someone who once cared. A delayed reply, a shorter sentence, a lack of explanation, a calm tone, a polite distance. These tiny changes create massive psychological discomfort in those who disrespected you. They realize the old you, the forgiving you, the explaining you, the patient you, is no longer here. The new you doesn't argue, doesn't chase clarity, doesn't speak to defend anything. That silence pierces deeper than confrontation ever could. Detachment punishes disrespect by showing them you can function without them far better than they can function without your attention. Most people expect you to crack. They expect you to explode, to break down, to defend, to justify, to chase. When you don't do any of that, you break their understanding of who you are, and that confusion is a powerful punishment. Non-reaction is not silence. It's dominance disguised as calmness. It takes strength to watch someone try to provoke you and remain still. It takes power to listen to lies and remain composed. It takes discipline to see manipulation and refuse the bait. The person who can stay silent while being disrespected is not weak. They are calculating. They are watching. They are preparing the consequence, a consequence delivered through behavior, not voice. People expect noise. When you give them nothing, the silence becomes a punishment they inflict on themselves. Their guilt speaks louder than your reaction ever could. Their guessing hurts more than your anger ever would. Their insecurity grows faster than your explanation ever can. This is the psychology. The mind fills silence with its own fears, and that fear becomes your leverage. There is one punishment greater than silence, and that is removal. Not dramatic removal, not angry removal, not emotional removal, but quiet, calm, controlled removal. Walking away is the final consequence because it communicates the ultimate truth. You cannot disrespect what you no longer have access to. You don't walk away to teach them a lesson. You walk away because you finally remembered your value. And the moment you step back, everything they took for granted becomes visible. Not to you, but to them. Your absence hits harder than your arguments. Your silence speaks louder than your warnings. Your distance teaches faster than your explanations. The greatest punishment is not revenge, it's elevation. It's becoming so focused, so disciplined, so self-contained that disrespect can no longer reach you. The final transformation is this. You no longer punish disrespect, you simply stop entertaining it. And in doing so, you become someone people don't dare to lose. Because the truth is simple, they don't respect you because you talk too much. But when you stop talking, the world learns exactly who you are.